All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and a few sisters out there, unto the Israelite foreigners, from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's going to be a quick show to the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. I just did another show on this little topic. I hate you, I hate you. It's not what people think. I know brothers are getting, they snacking on this, but it is another aspect of this particular video, all right? Which I'm not gonna even play no parts of the video like I did the last one. But in the other aspect, as I concluded on the previous lesson, you know how it is. Sometimes you do a lesson on a topic and you don't want to make it too long, and something just kind of hits you like, yeah, I should have said this, or just to add on, and that's what's happening. And at first, if you're new to this, if you've been watching GMS, this is not how we GMS get down as far as publicly. If a camp wants to work out, do jiu-jitsu or spar, whatever, we've done it in the past. Heck, our apostles, in the old school One West, they was doing that as well. The whole entire school was based upon that. They had officers, they had people like military style training. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? But this guy right here, one brother said he might be a Jake. I don't know this guy. I seen a couple of his clips, and he just going around and same old crap, like trying to make everybody look like they're crazy because they on that love tip. And this is ISUPK, and they was working out. They had him around, let them film it, which was stupid. But that's neither here or there. If they're out there publicly, they can do what the hell they want to do, right? But something that kind of hit, like I said in the last lesson, and I was talking to a brother, one of the beloved brothers, Gabar Yahweh, that had called about this particular video. And he was like, yo, IUCPK is carnal as fuck. And then we all agree, that's the carnal Israelite camp. Like, that's all they're concerned about, guns. I didn't even mention that in the last video. The guns, military style training, and all this other good stuff. Which is, like I said, is certain things can be out there publicly. Certain things just keep it private, whatever. Because they're always gonna. This particular video is called "Inside a Hate Group: The Black Israelites." So they always gonna try to make us look bad, and we know a lot of these different camps are just there to be set up. So when the heat is on, when this devil come down like having a great wrath, he's not gonna see different groups, or he's gonna see one. All right, just like not get off the subject, but Trump was he said when the act entered 1798, I believe, about get illegal aliens. And one person was breaking it down, which is true. You think that he's gonna empower ICE, which was that immigration shit, if he's elected, which is gonna force a lot of people out of America, supposedly, but it's not really. It's gonna just throw them into concentration camps, which people don't see that. And one person was breaking it down, and he's like, do you think they can tell the difference between brown people? And the cops is going to have utter immunity. That's what Trump said. Right? So they could wrongfully pick you up, and since you fit the description, they could lock your ass up. Right? And you could be an American citizen. And she was breaking it down about the internment camps during World War II, because America was going to war with Japan. All Japanese Americans were put into a concentration camp. At the end of that, they all they were treated like shit, but they was given compensation for that. I don't think it was right away. It may take decades or whatever, but it was all given money for that because it was wrongfully arrested. So when it comes down to Israel, which are blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, Trump already talked shit about Levi, which are the Haitians, Natali, which they can't tell the difference between Natali, Issachar, you know, Natali, you got Natali, Issachar, Asher, all in the southern South America, they can't tell the difference. So when they see you, they're going to see you as the enemy. Henceforth, Revelations 12 and 12. Matter of fact, I'll start there. I'll start there with that one. It says, Revelations 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens. Who's in the heavens? The angels. Right? Why are the angels going to rejoice? Because now they get to, it's greenlit. Just the way we waiting to be delivered, the angels are waiting to deliver us out of certain situations, which angels are watching over. The scripture says, the angels of the Most High camp around about them that fear the Lord. So they always busy. But the busy season, the end of the credit scene is coming soon. It says, and ye that dwell in them, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth. Who's in who's in the earth? All of us. Scripture says, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, meaning destruction, and of the sea of people. All these different, especially America, which is a melting pot. For the devil is coming down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So everything that's going on with the migrants and all this other stuff, everything is covered. Right? So they're going to come down having great wrath. So as I was sitting there, I read Jeremiah the 23rd chapter. I went to the point, which I'm going to read again. Just build off of that. What I'm doing. Jeremiah 23. I mean, I could read the whole thing, but I just want to get to the point. Make this short. 23 and 32, right to the point. It says, behold, I'm against them that prophesy falsely dreams. What is the subject head? Subject head is false prophets. I already told you about dreaming dreams and telling the people. Okay, which the first person that comes to mind when you say I have a dream is Martin Luther King. Which his speech was not his. He just spoke it. It was written by the Small Hatters. So the Lord called those that have his people forget his name and forget the laws, statutes, and commandments. He called them false prophets because they are. But here's the point. He says, if the Lord and tell them it caused my people to err, meaning going off, wandering, going astray, right? By their lies and by their lightness. Now they go into it. Lightness means recklessness and extravagancy, frivolity. Let's look this word up real quick. Frivolity, sorry. Is a noun, means behavior or things that are silly and not serious. So basically, They're not taking the words of the Lord serious, not especially the prophecy. And the main prophecy what I'm talking about is the MOTB. They're making light of it. All right, they're making light of everything. But it says, yet I sent them not, nor command them. Therefore, they shall not profit this people at all, saith the Lord. So the Lord did not send these other camps out there. All right. Now, let me get to the point. Well, another point. 1 Samuel 16 and it says 1 Samuel 16. Was it 16? No, 15. Sorry. All right, 1 Samuel 15 and 23. It says, for rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. Matter of fact, I got to read up. 22. And Samuel had said, have the Lord has greatly delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, to hearken than the fat of rams. So, when you read the context of this particular scripture, the Lord told Samuel to tell Saul to kill all Amalek. Saul instead of killing all of them, he kept the king and kept. He's slack here. He told to kill all Amalekites, men, women, and children, and kill all their cattle. He don't want the Israelites to touch anything of theirs. But Saul, being rebellious, decides to do what? And here's the point. And it says, for rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, stubbornness is as iniquity, and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected thee from being king. I believe he says it's, you can jump down. Oh, I gotta read up. Slakia. Because this is going to be his excuse. Okay, there it is. 24. I don't. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and the words and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. So he was concerned about the people to be liked, to be loved by the people, than the fear of the Lord. Henceforth, these are the camps. All right. Their concern is the people, not what the Lord told them to do. And that's the worst position that you could put yourself into. Second Chronicles, to the point, I'm just going to go backstory real quick. This is talking about Micah, the prophet Micah, talking about Ahab, what's going to happen to Ahab. Right? And it says, Second Chronicles 18 and 14, and when he was come to the king, so the gist of it, it was Jehoshaphat, Ahab, and the king of Edom came together to come against, I believe it was Moab, or the Philistines. It's going to say it. And all the prophets, over the 400 prophets, said, go to Ramoth Gal, and you'll be triumphant. So Jehoshaphat is like, that's everybody? There's no other prophet? Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord made him ask that. And Ahab's like, yeah, this is one guy. And every time he speaks of me, he speaks of evil. So this is now the story. He says, and when he came to the king, the king said to him, Micah, shall we go to Ramoth Gilgad to battle, or shall we bear? Shall I forbear? And he said, go up and prosper. Go up and prosper, and they shall be delivered in your hand. And the king said to him, how many times shall I endure thee, that thou sayest nothing but truth to me in the name of the Lord? Then he said, I do see all Israel. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to read up. Salakia. I know it was, and it was the Syrian, sorry. Verse 11, and all the prophets prophesied, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilgad and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into thy hand of the king. And the messengers that went to call Micah spake to him, saying, behold, the words of the prophets declare good to the king with one consent. Let thy word, therefore, I pray thee, be like one of theirs, and speak thou good. So, what are they telling you? Agree with them. All right? Agree with the mob. And this is what Micah said. And this is the attitude that every prophet should have. And Micah said, as the Lord liveth, even what my power saith, that will I speak. So it's not what man says or what the fear of the people, is what the Lord said. And what the Lord said, the Lord didn't tell a lot of these camps to do what they're doing, but they go running to do it. All right? This is why Ezekiel 13:1, it says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, son of man, prophesied against the prophets of Israel. So prophets are set to correct other prophets if it needs be. That's why the scripture says, I'm just going to quote it, they hate him that rebuketh at the gate. The gate is where the leadership extend from. When you come into a city, you come to the city, you present yourself to the leaders of that particular city. So when somebody's rebuking the leaders because of what? The Lord, the Spirit of the Lord. Those that are in power hates that person. This is why they have a problem with apostles, elders, men of GMS, because we always corrected them. You ready? Everything's set in motion. You think you showing that you could wake up, not wake up, you could have 1,000 members of your camp to march around the city. That's power. Like the Lord sent you to do that. Really? Or that you're training, you go into the shooting range and things of that nature. That's supposed to put fear. Really? You mean to tell us that Esau is blessed with the sword, but we're so blessed that we could take this man's blessing and fight against him? This is why we call them, and the Lord's calling them false prophets. Because everything they're doing it on their own accord. And that's why prophets are set to correct other prophets. Well, in this case, it'd be false prophets. All right? It says, and say thou unto them, prophesy out of their own hearts. That prophesy out of their own hearts, which is their mind. Hear ye the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit, and have seen nothing. Because what? It's telling you in Micah that the Lord is going to darken their vision. They're not seeing anything. They don't even see that they're setting themselves up to be destroyed. All right? There's nothing spiritual about these other camps, bro. Nothing. Oh, Israel, the prophets are like foxes in the desert. Now, I don't know quite much of the nature of a fox, but the fox is very clever. Matter of fact, let's see what it says. No, well, it just says a burrow. What is the characteristics of a fox? No, not fox characters. Fox characteristic. Well, now we're not talking about the physical. We're talking about, let's say, the personality of a fox, or fox be characters. Smart, secretive creature. Nope. That's not what we're looking for. Cunning, playful, resilient, which these are good attributes. Jeez, he's not helping me out. A clever person, or someone who is smart and good at deceiving people. Okay, there it is. What defines a fox person? Someone who's smart and good at deceiving people. Sly as a fox. So when the Lord said that the prophets, he said, O Israel, thy prophets are like foxes. They sly and they're deceivable in the desert. And what's in the desert? There's no water. So they're not giving the people what they need. You have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedges. So the gaps is representation of what? The streets. The hedges is what? To tell the people the prophecy. Hedges of protection. So they're not made up the protection for the house of Israel to stand in the battle and the day of the Lord, which is what? Revelation 12 and 12. You're not preparing the minds of the people. Now, physically, they're preparing for war. Congratulations. But physically, that's not going to save us. It's not by our own accord. That's why it says, real quick, I'm going to end it off, and I don't speak much to it. Isaiah 59 and 19, sorry. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, which is Revelation 12 and 12, right? Storm troops, okay, fully armed, fully equipped. The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Against who? The ones that's coming against us. When you look up the word standard, it's nawas, which means to flee, escape. This group calls to say that there's no cowards, right? Well, we'll see. We want to see that. To flee, escape, to take flight, depart, disappear. In other words, spiritual power. To fly, to attack on horseback. So it's not about taking this man's weapons and using his against him. There's no glory in that. That's why when you go into the story of Gideon and the 300, they were hundreds, thousands. There was thousands, and Noah narrowed it down to hundreds. Why? Because he said that Israel would not think that they did it on their own accord. The Lord's glory is what? In the few. Not the many. Alright? not the mighty, not the strong. Matter of fact, I do have one more. Jeremiah 9, 22, or is it 20? I haven't read it in a while. 23. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. So when you watch that video, you will see these guys in training mode, ready to fight. I believe it said, wow, how did he break it down? Yad something. So they training these men how to fight, which is good. Learn self-defense, which is beautiful. They ain't knocking that. But that's not what you're supposed to glory in. All right? Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he have understanding and knoweth me, that I am the Lord Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, righteousness in the earth, for in these things I delight, saith the Lord. That's what we're supposed to glory in. We're supposed to glory in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right? The Lord is going to lift up that standard for us. He's going to come to our rescue. So all these other cats, what they doing is just gimmicky stuff and keeping people on a carnal level, where the Lord demands us to be in the spiritual. All right? Rely on him. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.